Village Doctor Zhang Xiaoshan has obtained various supernatural powers. Reading the heart in appreciating treasures, skillfully reviving hands, capable of anything. Keywords of the novel. No pop-ups for The Legend of the Amazing Dragon Wife, complete collection download for The Legend of the Amazing Dragon Wife TXT, latest chapter reading for The Legend of the Amazing Dragon Wife. Chapter 1. Village Doctor Zhang Xiaoshan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1 Village Doctor Zhang Xiaoshan, put in more effort. At noon, there were shouts coming from the health room in Bailong village. A charming woman in her 30s, wearing a checkered long skirt, was lying on the hospital bed, while the village health doctor Zhang Xiaoshan was massaging and treating her. "Auntie, keep your voice down. If someone hears you, they might think we're doing something bad," said the young and handsome Zhang Xiaoshan with some embarrassment. He, I'm not afraid of a woman's family." "What are you afraid of, you big man?" The woman twisted her head and looked at Zhang Xiaoshan, smiled slightly, revealing two charming dimples, and said coquettishly. "So many men in the village want to take advantage of me, so you really don't want to have anything to do with me." The woman's name is Luo Meili. Her man is in the mountain goods business and comes from a wealthy family. Unfortunately, she died in a traffic accident 5 years ago, leaving her alone. Fortunately, she left behind a large inheritance. In a remote and impoverished village like Bailong village, she can also be considered a little rich woman. Luo's beautiful figure and appearance are all top-notch, especially her dark and bright eyes, which have a great charm. Zhang Xiaoshan and Luo Meili just glanced at each other and felt flustered. Zhang Xiaoshan was afraid of making a big mistake and quickly turned around in a panic. "Auntie, don't tease me anymore. How dare I have your idea? That's all for today's treatment. Put on your clothes quickly, and I'll wait for you outside." The health room in Bailong village is a suite, with a treatment area inside and a pharmacy outside. Zhang Xiaoshan ran outside. This kid is quite pure." Luo Meili smiled and got up from the bed, tidying up her clothes. Then he also walked outside. Xiaoshan, your massage technique is really amazing. Recently, my chest has been feeling very tight. Can you find a way to treat it for me?" As she spoke, Luo Meili grabbed Zhang Xiaoshan's hand and pressed it towards her chest. Startled, Zhang Xiaoshan quickly withdrew his hand and said with a flushed face. "Okay, auntie, one day, I'll take a good look at it for you. Today, I made an appointment with Xiaoru to meet. We need to close the door first." "I made an appointment with Xiaoru." Wu Xiaoru is Zhang Xiaoshan's childhood sweetheart's fiancée AE, and the two are already engaged. At the same time, Wu Xiaoru is also the niece of Luo Meili's deceased husband. Luo Meili seemed to have thought of something, with a hint of worry in her eyes. After hesitating for a moment, she said to Zhang Xiaoshan. "Xiaoshan, I recently heard some gossip from the Wu family. It seems that they are planning to repent and marry Xiaoru to a wealthy family in the town. How could it be?" Zhang Xiaoshan thought that Luo Meili was teasing him and immediately said. "Xiaoru and I are childhood sweethearts. She has also said that we won't marry unless we are engaged, and she won't betray me. I believe in her." Zhang Xiaoshan's serious expression made Luo Meili more satisfied with him and more eager to help him, so she continued. "Xiaoshan, I admit that Xiaoru and you have feelings for each other, but the matter of getting married is not something Xiaoru can decide on her own. What kind of person is her mother? You should know that doing such a thing is not very surprising. In short, I advise you to be careful." Zhang Xiaoshan's heart was a bit pounding. "All right, hurry up, I'm leaving." Seeing Zhang Xiaoshan's face not looking good, Luo Meili wisely decided to leave. As soon as she arrived at the door, she suddenly turned around. "By the way, you bad kid. You and Xiaoru haven't gotten married yet, so I'm only 6 or 7 years older than you. From now on, You can't call me auntie, call everyone old, call them sister. Also, come to my house tonight and give me a good press. See you and don't leave. While speaking, she patted Zhang Xiaoshan's buttocks before leaving. This woman is really deadly. Zhang Xiaoshan looked at the twisted back of Luo Meili when she left, and felt a bit agitated. He couldn't help but think of his fiancée Ae Wu Xiaoru in his heart. He took off his white coat, locked the door of the health room, and hurriedly walked towards the end of the village. Soon, Zhang Xiaoshan arrived at a small ancestral hall. What is enshrined in the ancestral hall is not an ancestral tablet, but a white dragon mural. Dragon Maiden Temple, in the village, there is a legend that has been passed down for a long time. Many years ago, a white dragon fell from the sky, and its body turned into land. The claws of its dragon head turned into mountains and hills, and its blood turned into rivers, nurturing and protecting the people here. In order to thank the white dragon, its ancestors established this temple to protect and worship it for generations. Every time Zhang Xiaoshan and Wu Xiaoru have a rendezvous, they always come here. Half a day has passed, and Zhang Xiaoshan and others are a bit anxious. Isn't Xiaoru coming? Suddenly, there was a sound of footsteps coming from outside, and a young girl wearing white short sleeves and light blue jeans walked in from outside. Xiaoru. Zhang Xiaoshan immediately ran up in high spirits. Just before Zhang Xiaoshan could embrace Wu Xiaoru, he was pushed away by a young man who suddenly appeared next to her. Get out of here. The man rudely scolded Zhang Xiaoshan. End of this chapter. Chapter 2. White Dragon Mural. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2 White Dragon Mural. Xiaoru, we're on a date, why did you bring your younger brother Wu Yong? Zhang Xiaoshan, who was pushed away, was stunned for a moment. The man is Wu Xiaoru's younger brother, Wu Yong. Wu Xiaoru's face was very unpleasant at this moment, and her attitude was neither cold nor warm. Wu Yong sneered and said. Zhang Xiaoshan, my sister came to see you today not for a date, but to talk about business. Let's not go around the bush anymore. Let's just go straight, sister. Are you saying it or should I say it? Wu Xiaoru hesitated for a moment, looked at Zhang Xiaoshan, and spoke up. Xiaoshan, my mother asked me to meet you today. Regarding the dowry, I want to talk to you again. A dowry. Zhang Xiaoshan was stunned. My sister.in.law has already booked the dowry with your family, isn't it? She has already given your mother 50,000 yuan, and the remaining 38,000 yuan will be brought to your family on the day of our wedding. What's there to talk about? 88,000. Wu Yong sneered and said. 88,000, do you think our family is begging? Today I'm here to inform you that the dowry has increased in price, an additional 200,000, 20.8 thousand. What, add another 200,000. Zhang Xiaoshan's color changed instantly. The geographical location of Bailong village is very poor, with closed transportation. The income sources of the villagers here are extremely limited, and it is not easy for one family to ensure a living every year. Half of the children in the village have no savings, and there are also children who drop out of school. 280,000 yuan is definitely an astronomical number. Especially Zhang Xiaoshan's family is special. His parents left early, and he and his brother Zhang Dashan relied on each other. However, Zhang Dashan also left a few years ago when he was in high school. Now, Zhang Xiaoshan's only relative is his sister.in.law, Yu Xiuxiu. Zhang Xiaoshan said with a slightly unpleasant expression. Isn't that too much? And since we've already agreed on something, how can we change our minds? The wedding date has already been set. Is it outrageous to suddenly add so much money? It's not easy for my sister.in.law to support me to finish college, and I finally managed to scrape together enough dowry money this time. I'm sure I won't be able to get any more money. Xiaoru, do you think this is good? I'll find a way to borrow another 20,000 yuan from my college classmates to your mother. Is that okay? 20,000, do you really treat our family as beggars? Wu Yong looked disgusted. Wu Xiaoru on the side looked at Zhang Xiaoshan, as if she had suffered a great deal of injustice. Give me another 20,000 yuan, and I'll be worth a total of 108,000 yuan in your heart, right? Am I just so cheap in your heart? Your sister. Law is not easy, and my mother is not easy either. He raised me so much, so it's reasonable to ask for 280,000 yuan. At this point, I won't hide it from you. My younger brother has also talked about a girlfriend and plans to buy a house in the county. My mother had no choice but to let me come to you for money. If I don't ask you for this money, my younger brother won't be able to get a wife, and my mother will be unhappy. You can consider it as my own and give my mother another 200,000 yuan. I will do laundry, cook for you, and have children for you in the future. Isn't this even worth 28,000 yuan? Wu Xiaoru's words almost angered Zhang Xiaoshan to death. Suddenly, Zhang Xiaoshan thought of what Luo Meili had told him before in the health room. Did you go on a blind date with someone behind my back? What blind date? No, no. Wu Xiaoru quickly denied, her expression panicked. Wu Yong sneered and said. Humph, sister, what are you afraid of him for? Zhang Xiaoshan, listen carefully. My sister went on a blind date, or did she go on a blind date with the son of the wealthiest family in town? What's going on? You don't want to give my sister 288,000 yuan, some people are willing to give it. What, is it true? At this moment, Zhang Xiaoshan felt his dignity being trampled upon. Did my fiancé AE secretly go on a blind date with another man without telling me? And he foolishly believed her. He stared at Wu Xiaoru with red eyes. I gave up my good job in the city for you and went back to my hometown to become a small village doctor. Now you think I'm poor and want to climb high branches. If you want to find someone rich, I won't stop you. But why did you do this after I got engaged? Zhang Xiaoshan only felt his head buzzing. Wu Xiaoru also knew she was at fault, lowered her head, and muttered. I have no choice. My mother asked me to do this, and she only has my younger brother as his son. I don't care who cares about him. Forget it, sister. Don't pay attention to him. I don't think this poor guy can even come up with this money. I've already told him not to waste time. Give up now, let's go and go home. Wu Yong pulled Wu Xiaoru to leave. Zhang Xiaoshan stopped working. Don't leave, speak clearly. Zhang Xiaoshan rushed up and grabbed Wu Xiaoru's arm, wanting an explanation. Chao Nima, let go. Wu Yong fiercely punched Zhang Xiaoshan twice, but Zhang Xiaoshan had no intention of letting go at all. Go, mad. Wu Yong fiercely punched Zhang Xiaoshan in the head with 2 punches. This guy was tall and had plenty of strength, and immediately hit Zhang Xiaoshan in a daze. Following suit, Wu Yong fiercely kicked Zhang Xiaoshan in the chest, kicking him back several steps. Banging. Zhang Xiaoshan's head fiercely hit the white dragon mural, and a large amount of blood gushed out of Zhang Xiaoshan's head. Zhang Xiaoshan. Wu Xiaoru shouted out. Forget it, don't worry about him. Just die. It's best if you die, then you can marry into the town and go home. Wu Yong casually pulled Wu Xiaoru's arm and the two of them left the temple. Throughout the process, Wu Xiaoru did nothing except take a glance at Zhang Xiaoshan. What they didn't notice was that the blood from Zhang Xiaoshan's head seeped into the mural. The era of the White Dragon mural has been a long time, and many places have lost their paint. However, at this moment, the entire mural burst out with a dazzling light, illuminating the dim ancestral hall. The white dragon in the mural actually began to swim, as if it had come to life. The next moment, it directly penetrated into Zhang Xiaoshan's body. In a daze, Zhang Xiaoshan felt a gentle force filling his body, and he slowly opened his eyes. surrounded by a vast expanse of white clouds and mist. A graceful and stunning woman stood in front of Zhang Xiaoshan. The woman's skin is snow-white, her facial features are delicate, and her eyes are like 9 stars in the sky. She is about 1.7 meters tall, with a graceful concavity and convexity. Her body is only wrapped in a layer of white plain gauze, without even wearing shoes, revealing a pair of smooth feet. "Husband, do you look good at me?" The woman spoke, coquettishly asking Zhang Xiaoshan. At this moment, Zhang Xiaoshan seemed to be completely possessed, just obediently nodding his head. "Beautiful, of course beautiful. I have never seen such a beautiful woman before. He he he." The woman let out a silver bell-like laughter and then walked towards Zhang Xiaoshan, facing each other, only 20.30 centimeters apart. The woman raised her hand and poked her delicate jade finger at Zhang Xiaoshan's chest, staring at him and shyly saying, "Then you can help me." As she spoke, her entire delicate body pressed against Zhang Xiaoshan's body. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. Dragon Girl Susu. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. Dragon Girl Susu. Zhang Xiaoshan instantly sank. "I don't know how long it has been." He lay in the clouds. At this moment, the woman was also leaning against Zhang Xiaoshan's side, her head resting on his shoulder, drawing a circle around Zhang Xiaoshan's chest and whispering softly in his ear. "Husband, we are already married. I have something to beg of you." "You said, as long as I can help you, I will do it," Zhang Xiaoshan agreed. The woman said, "I want my husband to help me get out of trouble. Getting out of poverty." Zhang Xiaoshan was a bit puzzled. The woman smiled and said, "Isn't my husband curious about my identity?" "You, who are you?" "I am the white dragon worshipped by your Bailong village for generations. You can call me Susu." "What, are you white dragon?" Zhang Xiaoshan was startled and his whole body became much clearer, maintaining some distance from the woman. "Cluck cluck." Susu smiled and said coquettishly, "Husband, rest assured that I will not harm you." Zhang Xiaoshan is a bit at a loss. "So, what exactly is going on here?" Susu explained that, "It's useless to tell you too much. As long as you know that I am a spiritual body now, I accidentally came to Bailong village and helped your ancestors. They built a temple and offered incense to preserve my spiritual body. Today, the mural has stained your blood, and I can awaken and leave that mural. However, this is still far from restoring me. So, how should I help you? What can I help you with?" "I'm just an ordinary person." Zhang Xiaoshan felt a little sad and helpless. "I have already passed on my dragon clan's secret technique, 9 dragons swallowing the sky, to you, and at the same time, I have used my remaining dragon energy to help you chop hair and wash marrow. At this point, you are no longer an ordinary person, and my dragon spirit is attached to you. When a certain degree is reached, my dragon spirit can move freely completely." Zhang Xiaoshan seems to understand but not quite. Susu patiently explained. "Yes, there is a kind of aura between heaven and earth that can make people stronger, which we call spiritual energy. However, the spiritual energy in your area is already very scarce, and taking it through breathing is very slow. However, the 9 dragons swallowing heaven technique is very mysterious, and there are various powers that can be taken." Susu leaned into Zhang Xiaoshan's ear and whispered a sentence. Zhang Xiaoshan was even more confused. "Cluck, cluck." Susu covered her mouth and smiled. As she spoke, Susu's figure began to fade away. "Oh." Susu frowned and continued speaking to Zhang Xiaoshan. "Husband, my dragon spirit has just awakened and I am too weak. I have given you some dragon energy again, and now I am going to sleep again. Please remember the agreement with me today. Finally, I'll give you one more treasure of my life." The dragon girl opened her mouth and spat out a crystal clear pearl, which turned into a stream of light and swooped into Zhang Xiaoshan's eyes. Subsequently, Susu's figure completely dissipated. Susu. Zhang Xiaoshan wanted to catch Susu, but his feet were empty, feeling as if the sky and earth were spinning, as if he had fallen from an endless height. Ah! Zhang Xiaoshan shouted loudly and suddenly sat up. He is still in the corner of the temple wall. What an outrageous dream! Zhang Xiaoshan muttered and stood up, but when his eyes scanned the white dragon mural, he was stunned. On the mural, there are only some scenery at this time, and the body of the white dragon has disappeared. No, this is not a dream, it's all true. Zhang Xiaoshan's heart was pounding wildly. He felt his body was a bit greasy. When he looked down, there was a lot of black mud on his body, dirty and emitting a foul odor. Not right. Zhang Xiaoshan looked outside again. The moon had already hidden behind the dark clouds, and at this moment, there was darkness on one side of the sky and earth. However, Zhang Xiaoshan's eyes were clear. Not only can you see clearly the roads, residential buildings, even the insects crawling through the cracks of bricks and tiles, but also the grasshoppers jumping on the village roads. He stood still, his eyes moving around. On a large locust tree outside the ancestral hall, several small sparrows were dozing off, and a cauliflower snake was quietly approaching. Oh my goodness, even Zhang Xiaoshan could see the spots of the cauliflower snake clearly. Inside the tree, there were dense termites gnawing on the tree's heart, Gulu. Zhang Xiaoshan was both surprised and delighted. My eyes can not only see through perspective now, but also have farsightedness and night vision. Is it because of the bead that Susu had just left that had slipped into my eye? Zhang Xiaoshan tried hard to recall his dream earlier, and some information became clearer in his mind. Vast like clouds and smoke. Forget it, it's too complicated. Let's go home first and study slowly. Zhang Xiaoshan walked towards home with a hint of excitement. Although there were some unexpected changes in my marriage with Wu Xiaoru today, I received a great adventure, which can be considered some comfort. It was already 11 o'clock at night, and the people in the village had been working for a whole day before falling asleep. The village roads were very quiet. As Zhang Xiaoshan walked, he thought to himself. Indeed, it's true that people know their faces but not their hearts. Today, Luo Meili said that Wu Xiaoru was going on a blind date. I was still arguing for Xiaoru, but in the end, I made myself look like a joke. I gave up my good job for Wu Xiaoru and returned to the countryside. I didn't expect such a result. Zhang Xiaoshan was feeling resentful and self-righteous, as most of his long-standing feelings for Wu Xiaoru had already dissipated. Indeed, one cannot entrust one's own destiny to others. The hard truth is to make oneself stronger. Zhang Xiaoshan's mind recalled the scene of himself massaging Luo Meili in the health room today. Just because at that time he still deeply loved Wu Xiaoru, and was indifferent to Luo Meili's seduction, Zhang Xiaoshan couldn't help but feel a bit regretful now. Is it worth it for a woman like Wu Xiaoru? If given another chance, I will definitely win Luo Meili. Zhang Xiaoshan was lost in thought. Suddenly, a shout came from the quiet corn fields. Help, help. Zhang Xiaoshan was suddenly startled, stopped his steps, and turned his head to look at a large piece of corn field not far away. About 10 meters away from the ridge, there was a large piece of corn pole shaking. Wu Yong, you're crazy. I'm your aunt, please let go of me. A woman screamed with heart-wrenching cries. Is this Luo Meili's voice? Wu Yong. How did these two people get together? Zhang Xiaoshan hurriedly crawled into the corn field. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. The movements inside were too intense, and they didn't notice anyone coming. Zhang Xiaoshan looked in through the crack in the cornstalk. It's really Luo Meili and Wu Yong. Luo Meili was just wearing a thin camisole nightgown, and one of her slippers fell off, leaving only one to step on. Wu Yong tightly hugged Luo Meili from behind, trying to take off her nightgown. Although Luo Meili resisted desperately, she was torn off halfway due to her thin clothing, and the scenery suddenly appeared. He, the more you struggle, the more excited I become. Beautiful auntie, you can go with me. You have been a widow for 6 or 7 years, how difficult it is to endure. Let me take good care of you tonight. Luo Meili cried anxiously. Wu Yong, can you give me some face? I'm your aunt, how can you be so strong with me? If this matter gets out, how can you make me live in the future? Wu Yong had a lewd smile on his face. Auntie, don't be afraid. Heaven knows and earth knows about this matter. You know and I know, and there will never be a third person who knows. I promise, this is our secret. You know me, every time I see you, my mouth water with envy. Just give it to me. Shameless. Luo Meili lowered her head and took a bite at Wu Yong's big hand. Ouch. Wu Yong, who was in pain immediately, let go of Luo Meili. Luo Meili immediately hugged her chest and retreated repeatedly. Mad, you stinky bitch, dare you bite me? Wu Yong looked at the imprint on his hand and was furious. He took out a spring knife from his pocket. The sharp blade shimmered with a cold light under the moonlight. I warn you to cooperate, otherwise I'll stab you to death. Also, don't you have a younger sister studying in the county? I'll find someone to take turns with her tomorrow. No, don't touch my sister. Luo Meili was about to cry without tears. Then listen well. Wu Yong walked towards Luo Meili. Luo Meili cried in despair. Wu, who will save me? Wu Yong was so excited that he was about to burst into beauty. Suddenly, a small stone flew out from one side and hit Wu Yong's forehead, causing him to bleed instantly. Oh my head, who hit me all the time? Me. Zhang Xiaoshan walked out. Zhang Xiaoshan still had mud on his body, and it was night again. Wu Yong looked for several seconds before he could see clearly, and suddenly lifted his heart and let it go. Wipe, it turns out to be you, poor guy. It's not your business here, get out of here quickly, otherwise I'll beat you up. Xiaoshan, help me. As soon as Luo Meili saw Zhang Xiaoshan, she immediately ran behind him and grabbed his arm. Auntie, don't worry, with me around, I won't let him touch you, Zhang Xiaoshan said to calm Luo Meili's emotions. I'm sorry. Wu Yong said disdainfully. Did you forget that I hit you before and you didn't even have the strength to fight back? To challenge me, are you good enough, If you dare to meddle in my business, do you believe that when I go back, my sister will continue to ask you for 300,000? Zhang Xiaoshan's expression was indifferent. Wu Yong, when I cared about your sister, she was priceless. But now in my eyes, your sister is worthless, not to mention 300,000 yuan. I won't even give her a penny. I won't marry her anymore, and you also have to refund me that 50,000 yuan. He has decided to draw a clear line with Wu Xiaoru's family. Upon hearing Zhang Xiaoshan's words, Wu Yong's face turned even darker. Damn it, you're determined to meddle in your own business, right? Alright, then let's not talk nonsense. I'll give you a good time. The spring knife in Wu Yong's hand pierced directly towards Zhang Xiaoshan. Wu Yong belongs to the kind of thugs in the village. After graduating from junior high school, he has been working on the streets of the county town and has some skills. This knife is very fast. But in Zhang Xiaoshan's eyes, Wu Yong's speed has been slowed down countless times. It is clearly a linked thrust action, but at this moment it is decomposed and then decomposed again. Zhang Xiaoshan was shocked in his heart, but Wu Yong's spring knife had already pierced through. Zhang Xiaoshan didn't have time to think much, but instinctively pushed according to his own eyes. Wu Yong's spring knife rubbed against Zhang Xiaoshan's body and was staggered. Immediately after, countless tricks and movements appeared in Zhang Xiaoshan's mind. Following the action in his mind, Zhang Xiaoshan grabbed Wu Yong's wrist holding the knife, twisted it fiercely, and with a click, Wu Yong's wrist made a crisp sound. Then, the other hand grabbed Wu Yong's left shoulder, and with an elbow strike, his knee directly hit Wu Yong's stomach. Bang 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 bang. After 7 or 8 consecutive kicks, Wu Yong vomited out his overnight meal. Finally, Zhang Xiaoshan turned around and made a beautiful over-shoulder fall, throwing Wu Yong to the ground. Oh my hands, my stomach. Wu Yong lay on the ground, howling in sorrow. After Zhang Xiaoshan's combo, Wu Yong was quite injured. Luo Meili on the side was stunned. She was originally worried that Zhang Xiaoshan's small body might not be a match for Wu Yong, who was quite rough. Now, it seems that she is completely overthinking. Zhang Xiaoshan looked at Wu Yong lying on the ground, howling and feeling extremely shocked. The combo I just played was completely unconscious and almost inertial. How could this be? At this moment, Wu Yong, who was lying on the ground, had already breathed a sigh of relief. Zhang Xiaoshan, do you dare to hit me? I see you really don't want to marry my sister anymore. Wait, I will definitely tell my sister about this. Do as you please. At this moment, Zhang Xiaoshan was already completely disheartened towards Wu Xiaoru and would not take Wu Yong's threat to heart. Auntie, how are you? Zhang Xiaoshan inquired about Luo Meili's situation. Luo Meili exclaimed in shock. I was scared to death. I thought I was going to finish today. Thanks to you, I'm okay. Zhang Xiaoshan lowered his head to look at Wu Yong and then asked Luo Meili. Should we report to the police and accuse him of rape and kidnapping? Alarm. Now Wu Yong on the ground began to panic. Zhang Xiaoshan, are you too amazing? Even if we can't become relatives, there's no need for you to be enemies. Besides, Luo Meili is a woman from our Wu family. Can you manage her? This is a matter of whether you want to manage it or the village chief. You. At this moment, Luo Meili also blushed and said. Forget it, this matter is so embarrassing to hear. I can't afford to lose face. I think Wu Yong was beaten hard by you and received punishment. Let's just settle this matter for now. Upon thinking about it, Zhang Xiaoshan realized that Bailong village is still a rural area, and women love to chew their tongues. It is indeed not good for Luo Meili to hear about this. Humph, you're lucky. I'll spare you today, but if I dare to do it again, I'll definitely not spare you lightly. No, absolutely not. I couldn't control it for a moment and became impulsive. I promise I won't dare it again. Don't call the police. Humph. Luo Meili snorted coldly and then followed Zhang Xiaoshan out of the cornfield. Mad, Zhang Xiaoshan, you wait, if I don't give you some color to see, I will be your son. After the two left, Wu Yong immediately revealed his true colors, cursed Zhang Xiaoshan viciously, and at the same time, he thought in his heart how to revenge Zhang Xiaoshan. Stepping out of the cornfield, Zhang Xiaoshan was about to speak to Luo Meili. Auntie, it's late. You should go home early. But as soon as he turned his head, he saw Luo Meili's half-white circle exposed due to a torn pajama suspender, and he couldn't help but swallow his saliva, his eyes staring straight. Luo Meili noticed Zhang Xiaoshan's gaze and her pretty face turned red. However, she was not angry or stopped, but smiled and said to Zhang Xiaoshan. Xiaoshan, you saved Auntie. Do you think it's good for Auntie to promise you with her own life? End of this chapter. Chapter 5. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. Watching Luo Meili's charming appearance, Zhang Xiaoshan's Adam's apple wriggled and couldn't help but swallow a mouthful of saliva. She's such a damn woman. However, Zhang Xiaoshan still has some hesitation. Hee, you can follow me home first, Luo Meili continued to entangle. Going home. It's late at night, isn't that good? Although Zhang Xiaoshan has decided to give up on Wu Xiaoru, he is still an unmarried young man and has some reservations about going to a widowed woman's house. He. Luo Meili is a smart woman. She can already see that Zhang Xiaoshan has thoughts about her, but she is sorry, so she needs to take the initiative. Come with me, you look dirty all over. The big bathtub at home is so comfortable. I'll wash it for you. Also, you see all the scars on my body caused by that bastard Wu Yong. Can you help me deal with them? If they leave scars, it won't be good. Upon hearing Luo Meili's words, Zhang Xiaoshan also compromised. Okay. So, Zhang Xiaoshan followed Luo Meili back home. Luo Meili is considered the wealthiest in Bailong village besides the village head's family. The whole village, including her house and the village head's house, is a 2-story small Western-style building. Don't be too imposing. You go wash it first. Luo Meili poured the bath water for Zhang Xiaoshan. Zhang Xiaoshan entered the bathroom and took a painful bath, washing away the mud and dirt on his body. Suddenly, his whole body was refreshed. He. Just as Zhang Xiaoshan was about to get out of the bathtub, Luo Meili pushed open the bathroom door, revealing a head and looking at Zhang Xiaoshan with a smile. Zhang Xiaoshan, apart from having a soul intertwined with long new Susu in his dream, has always been very clean and self-disciplined. He couldn't help but feel a bit nervous and shy, so he sat back in the bathtub and awkwardly said to Luo Meili at the door. Auntie, I haven't finished washing it. You can wait. Luo Meili looked at Zhang Xiaoshan's nervous expression and burst out laughing. I'm a newcomer, haven't I seen anything before? Xiaoshan, tell me, have you ever been with Xiaoru? You shouldn't be a boy, right? Zhang Xiaoshan's face instantly turned red to the neck. I'm not. Looking at Zhang Xiaoshan's disheveled appearance, Luo Meili immediately became more certain of her guess and felt happy in her heart. Okay, I won't disturb you. You're good to wash up. Luo Meili closed the door and left. Zhang Xiaoshan got up and put on the nightgown prepared for him by Luo Meili, and walked out. Auntie, why don't you also wash up? It's getting late, I'll hurry up and cure your injury, so you have to go home. Otherwise, tomorrow morning will be dawn and it won't be good if someone sees you. I know. Luo Meili walked into the bathroom. 10 minutes later, Zhang Xiaoshan was sitting on the sofa digesting the information imparted to him by the Dragon Maiden. Behind the bathroom door, Luo Meili was looking through the gap at Zhang Xiaoshan sitting on the sofa. The scene of Zhang Xiaoshan treating himself in the health room today comes to mind, as well as the heroic act of Zhang Xiaoshan saving himself in the corn field tonight. This man is so charming. There is no second man in Bailong village who can be compared to Zhang Xiaoshan. She has been living a widowed life for 7 years, trying to restrain herself, but even in the quiet of the night, she couldn't help but daydream. Tonight, she was teased by that bastard Wu Yong. At this moment, Luo Meili couldn't help but have some thoughts in her heart. Ah! Luo Meili let out a scream in the bathroom. Auntie, what's wrong with you? Zhang Xiaoshan, who was sitting on the sofa, stood up in shock. Auntie, he shouted twice more, but saw no response from Luo Meili. Feeling that something was wrong, he quickly walked towards the bathroom. Saving people is like putting out a fire. Auntie, if you don't speak, I'll come in. Zhang Xiaoshan waited for 2 seconds but still didn't respond. He pushed open the door and rushed into the bathroom. But there was no beautiful figure of Luo in the bathtub. A small mountain. Suddenly, a delicate body rushed out from behind the bathroom door and hugged Zhang Xiaoshan. Zhang Xiaoshan's breathing was rapid and he was at a loss. Xiaoshan, I've had a difficult time alone these years. Can you help me? Luo Meili lifted her head and looked at Zhang Xiaoshan with tearful eyes, as if she had just been in prison for 5 years before being released. Zhang Xiaoshan was touched by Luo Mei's pleading gaze, and his bones were numb. No, auntie, we. Upon hearing Zhang Xiaoshan's refusal, before Zhang Xiaoshan could finish speaking, Luo Mei pursued Zhang Xiaoshan with a resentful expression and said, "Why, do you dislike me for being older and for being ugly?" "No, it's not." Zhang Xiaoshan was afraid that Luo Mei would misunderstand, so he quickly explained. "You are a flower from our White Dragon village. How could you possibly look ugly, and you are not old either. You are the most charming at this age, and I also like you very much. However, I am now in poverty and my sister-in-law will not agree with our matter. I cannot take responsibility for you, and I don't want to hurt you." Upon hearing Zhang Xiaoshan's words, Luo Mei was even more moved. Tears streamed down the corners of her eyes. "Silly kid, why are you hurting me? Do you know how long it has been? No one has cared about me. Can you think this way? I am already very happy. I didn't misjudge you. You are a good man worth trusting. My man has been dead for 5 years, and every night of these 5 years, I have been alone, not only in my body, but also in my heart. I just want to find a man who knows my warmth and coldness. But looking at the whole village, except for you, Zhang Xiaoshan, everyone else only knows how to crave my body. Only you know how to feel about me, and I am willing to give myself to you just because of this. Xiaoshan, you're not hurting me, you're saving me. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I don't want you to be responsible. I know there's an age difference between us, and you'll be gossiped about by the villagers. Your sister-in-law won't agree, and I don't expect to marry you. I just want you to have me in your heart. When it's quiet at night, you can come and talk to me and give me a shoulder to lean on. That's enough. In the future, if you have someone you like and get married, if you want to cut off contact with me, I agree. If you still have me in your heart, I am willing to be your confidant for a lifetime. Xiaoshan, please be with me." After everything was said on this point, Zhang Xiaoshan let go of his psychological burden and quickly entered the role. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Chapter 6. Half an hour later, the two of them lay in the bathtub to rest. Luo Mei opened her eyes and smiled as she looked at Zhang Xiaoshan, whose face was not red and her heart was not beating. "You're not tired, are you?" After experiencing the baptism just now, Luo Mei became more feminine, her skin became more moisturized and radiant, and her whole person seemed to have changed. Zhang Xiaoshan guessed in his heart that this might be related to the divine power Susu had given him, but he said it verbally. "Maybe it's because I'm young." What's behind you? Why are you still getting tattoos? You even got a dragon tattoo. Hehe, I can't believe that, Xiaoshan, you look so honest. You still have such a hobby, Luo Mei chuckled. Zhang Xiaoshan was startled. Dragon. Tattoo. He quickly stood up and looked at his back in the bathroom mirror. Sure enough, there is a white dragon tattoo on his back, which is exactly the same as the white dragon pattern that disappeared from the white dragon mural, but at this time, the eyes of the white dragon tattoo are tightly closed. Zhang Xiaoshan understood that this should be a manifestation of Susu's dragon spirit residing on him, because Susu's soul power was too weak, so he was sleeping with his eyes closed. If I could accumulate enough energy and enhance my strength, then Susu would be able to wake up earlier, right? Recalling the feeling of entanglement between himself and Susu in his dream before, Zhang Xiaoshan had a bit of nostalgia and couldn't wait to walk to the bathtub to pull Luo Mei out. Walk, let's go to the living room. Although Zhang Xiaoshan and Wu Xiaoru have been in a relationship for several years, the biggest measure is only limited to kissing. Every time Zhang Xiaoshan wants to go further, Wu Xiaoru always evades and says that she needs to wait until after getting married, and her relationship with Long New Susu is also a matter of soul contact. After another hour, the two of them lay on the sofa to rest. Luo Mei felt like she was about to fall apart and curled up in Zhang Xiaoshan's arms, looking up coquettishly and saying to Zhang Xiaoshan. "You bad kid, just like a wild ox, why don't you know how to cherish fragrance and jade?" He. Zhang Xiaoshan looked at Luo Mei in his arms and said with a smile. "It's all because you're too charming, so I won't mess with you next time." Upon hearing Zhang Xiaoshan's words, Luo Mei became anxious. No, I'm just joking with you. Coincidentally, I'm also joking with you. You deadhead, that's really bad. Luo Mei knew she had been fooled by Zhang Xiaoshan, and immediately blushed like a monkey's butt. Zhang Xiaoshan's hands began to become restless, quang quang quang, quang quang quang. Just as they were in high spirits, someone knocked on the door of Luo Mei's house. "Beautiful, have you slept yet?" A beautiful woman called out from outside the door. "It's Jia Lanhua, the wife of village chief Wu Daming." Both of them recognized the voice of the person coming. The two people who were confused and infatuated seemed to have been doused with a basin of cold water, and instantly regained consciousness. "Oh my God, why did Jia Lanhua come? What should I do?" Zhang Xiaoshan was in a panic. If someone bumped into this matter, both he and Luo Mei would have no face seeing anyone again in the village. "Quick, hide." Zhang Xiaoshan hurriedly picked up his clothes and hid behind the floor curtain. Luo Mei put on her pajamas, tidied up her hair, and then went to open the door. "Oh, why did you take so long to open the door? It's too dark outside, it's really scary." Outside the door stood a beautiful woman wearing shorts and short-sleeved pajamas, with disheveled hair. Although women have a plain face and simple clothes, they are still beautiful and charming. Especially with that figure, the shape is too smooth. He needs to be 1.7 meters tall, just like a model. This is Jia Lanhua, the wife of village chief Wu Daming. She is of the same age as Luo Mei and is also of the same family and generation. They have a good relationship, and according to city people, they are best friends. "Ah, I was already asleep just now," Luo Mei explained, looking behind the cabinet curtains with a guilty expression. At this moment, she was silently praying not to be discovered by Jia Lanhua. "Orchid, why did you come to my house in the middle of the night?" Jia Lanhua, who walked in, complained. "I don't know where that ghost from Lao Wu has gone, and Ling Ling is not at home. I dare not sleep alone. I can sleep with you tonight." "Ah." Luo Mei was stunned for a moment. Jia Lanhua glanced at Luo Mei. Why aren't you a bit different tonight?" "What's different?" Jia Lanhua thought for a moment and said. "By the way, your complexion has improved a lot, and your face is radiant, as if you have just been moisturized by a man. He, aren't you hiding a man in your room?" Speaking, Jia Lanhua looked around with a serious expression, then walked straight towards the curtains, raising her hand to pull them open. Zhang Xiaoshan, hiding behind the curtains, felt anxious in his heart. It's over now. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. Fuck you, where can I hide a man? It's actually your Wu Tiger. He doesn't go home in the middle of the night, maybe he's looking for a fox spirit. Luo Mei watched as Jia Lanhua was about to open the curtains and quickly found a way to distract her attention. This move really worked. He dares. Upon hearing this, Jia Lanhua lowered the curtains and turned to Luo Mei, saying. He can't even feed me enough. What kind of fox spirit is he looking for? With just his little ability, I know too well. Luo Mei kept trying to support Jia Lanhua and continued. If you're not afraid of anything, why don't you go find him? Jia Lanhua looked at the pitch-black sky outside and waved her hand, saying. Forget it, I dare not go out in the middle of the night. I'm too lazy to meddle in his affairs. If he dares to find a woman, I'll find a man to put a green hat on him. Who can catch the eye of your village chief's wife in a small place like Bailong village? You're just talking nonsense. The men in our Bailong village are not very good, but there are exceptions, right? I think Zhang Xiaoshan is a good kid. He is pure and cultured. Yes, if Wu Laohu dares to find a woman behind my back, I will go sleep with Zhang Xiaoshan and give Wu Laohu a big green hat, he. Zhang Xiaoshan, hiding behind the curtains, swallowed Jia Lanhua's words. The three beauties of Bailong village have already obtained Luo Meili. It would be amazing if something could happen to Jia Lanhua. Luo Meili immediately became somewhat unhappy. Orchid, you're at least 7 or 8 years older than Xiaoshan, you're not shy. Jia Lanhua said disapprovingly. What's wrong with being older than him? Siblings are very common now. Besides, last time we talked, didn't you also say you crave Zhang Xiaoshan's body? Why, just crave, don't I think about it? When did I say I craved Zhang Xiaoshan's body? You, don't talk nonsense. Immediately, Luo Meili blushed and looked at the direction of the curtains, feeling extremely guilty. Zhang Xiaoshan, who was hiding behind her, heard it clearly. Sure enough, Luo Meili had already been thinking of her own ideas. And it seems that Jia Lanhua is also very interested in herself. Hey, there's no one here. Why are you shy? I won't tell you anymore. I'll go take a shower and take a nap first. Jia Lanhua looked at Luo Meili's red face and chuckled lightly as she walked into the bathroom. What's the smell in here? Why is it so fishy? As soon as she arrived at the bathroom, Jia Lanhua smelled an unusual odor. Luo Meili hurriedly explained. Maybe it's because I haven't opened the window for too long and it's moldy. You can open the window and let it breathe. It's getting late, and Jia Lanhua is extremely tired. She just wants to take a shower and go to bed early, without much thought. She turns on the faucet and flushes her body with a clatter. The door of Luo Meili's bathroom is frosted, just facing the curtains. Zhang Xiaoshan can vaguely see Jia Lanhua's charming figure curve from the gap in the curtains. At this moment, Luo Meili gently opened the curtains. I happened to see Zhang Xiaoshan's eyes fixed on the bathroom door. You little bastard, what are you looking at? Luo Meili raised her hand in jealousy and twisted it around Zhang Xiaoshan's waist, while also muttering in a low voice. Zhang Xiaoshan quickly withdrew his gaze and explained to Luo Meili in a low voice. I'm just looking at what she's doing, looking for a chance to run away, right? Humph. Luo Meili let out a moan. Don't think I don't know what's going on in your heart. I warn you not to have any plans for Jia Lanhua. This woman is not easy to provoke. If you get involved, you will suffer. Before Zhang Xiaoshan could reply, she urged him to speak. While she's taking a shower, please leave quickly. Zhang Xiaoshan was also very anxious this time, afraid of being caught, so he hurriedly left Jia Lanhua's house. Just as he went out, he couldn't help but turn his head and look towards the bathroom door. After leaving Luo Meili's house, Zhang Xiaoshan put on his clothes and ran excitedly towards his own home. Besides the 9 dragons swallowing heaven technique, what Susu passed on to me also had magical medical skills. My sister Law's eyes were saved. In a relatively remote area at the end of the village, there is a small courtyard composed of 3 green brick houses, which is Zhang Xiaoshan's home. Zhang Xiaoshan's parents passed away when he was very young. It was his brother Zhang Dashan who raised him. However, a mining accident 6 years ago took away his young life, leaving only a young sister Law named Yuxiuxiu who did not have time to hold a wedding. Yuxiuxiu's beauty is absolutely breathtaking, rare in the world. It's not an exaggeration to say she's a fairy, but most importantly, her completely different worldly temperament is incomparable to ordinary women. The only thing left is that she can't see it with her eyes. Her background is somewhat mysterious. It was a rainy day, and Zhang Xiaoshan and his brother picked up the terminally ill Yuxiuxiu on the road. They brought her back home for treatment, and when she woke up, Yuxiuxiu wanted to repay her kindness by marrying Zhang Dashan. Unexpectedly, an accident happened the day before her marriage, and Zhang Xiaoshan died unexpectedly. Yu Xiaoxiu had not yet officially passed away before becoming a widow. I thought Zhang Xiaoshan was dead and the marriage was ruined, but no one expected that Yu Xiaoxiu would voluntarily stay at Zhang Xiaoshan's house to take care of Zhang Xiaoshan, who was still in high school. The two of them depended on each other. Zhang Xiaoshan later applied for the medical major in high school, hoping that one day his sister-in-law Yu Xiaoxiu could see the light again. However, a clever woman cannot cook without rice. Zhang Xiaoshan's Western medicine requires professional instruments to treat Yu Xiaoxiu's eyes, which cannot be achieved by anyone alone. But tonight, Zhang Xiaoshan received the inheritance of the Dragon Lady and gained many ancient medical skills, which gave him hope. Zhang Xiaoshan was extremely excited and rushed straight into his home. At this moment, there was a large wooden bucket filled with water in the courtyard of Zhang Xiaoshan's house, and a young woman with snow-white skin and a slender figure was soaking inside. This fairy-like creature is Yu Xiaoxiu. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Chapter 8. There is no tap water in the countryside, so most people take showers this way. Although the eldest sister-in-law is like a mother, the two are of similar age and living together still has many inconveniences. Yu Xiaoxiu usually takes a shower when Zhang Xiaoshan is not at home. In the past, Zhang Xiaoshan used to be more careful when he went home, at least listening to the sound before entering the door. However, now Zhang Xiaoshan was overwhelmed by joy and didn't think too much. Unfortunately, Xiaoxiu forgot to lock the door today. When Zhang Xiaoshan pushed open the door, he happened to encounter this scene. Gulu. Unexpectedly, Zhang Xiaoshan looked at Yu Xiaoxiu soaking in the water and couldn't help but swallow his saliva. Ah! Although Yu Xiaoxiu couldn't see, she could hear and feel someone breaking in. She was so scared that she crouched down in the bucket and screamed. "Don't be afraid, sister-in-law, it's me, I'm Xiaoshan, I'm sorry." Upon hearing that it was Zhang Xiaoshan, Yu Xiaoxiu's fear in her heart decreased slightly, but her shyness grew even more. Her face turned red and she trembled as she spoke. "Xiaoshan, you, go out quickly." "Oh, okay. I'll go to the health room to sleep tonight." Zhang Xiaoshan regained his senses and hurriedly went out to close the door. Upon hearing Zhang Xiaoshan leave, Yu Xiaoxiu, who was hiding in a large wooden barrel, breathed a sigh of relief. Zhang Xiaoshan, who had left home, did not go far. Instead, he eagerly hid behind a big tree and used the information passed to him by Susu to digest the vitality he had gained from Luo Meili. All things in heaven and earth are derived from yin and yang, harmonizing with each other. An extremely eerie scene occurred. As Zhang Xiaoshan practiced, a faint stream of air rushed into his body. After the dark clouds dispersed, even Yuehua began to blend into Zhang Xiaoshan's body. When he woke up again, it was already the next morning. At this moment, he felt a qualitative change in his body, as if there was an inexhaustible force. He instinctively swung a punch at the nearby tree, which only used less than 50% of his strength. However, he left a deep punch mark on the tree, at least an inch deep. If he exerted all his strength, he would definitely punch through the tree. "Okay, that's amazing." Zhang Xiaoshan was very surprised. It seemed that he had really had an adventure. In this way, wouldn't his miserable life be about to be overturned and rewritten? "Wu Xiaoru, you and your family want to climb higher branches, but you never imagined in your dreams that I would actually benefit from misfortune, right?" At this moment it was already dawn, and Zhang Xiaoshan sorted out his emotions and returned home. Yu Xiaoxiu has just woken up and is washing up in the yard. After hearing the sound of the courtyard door being pushed open, her face turned pretty red. "Sister-in-law, I'm sorry last night," Zhang Xiaoshan apologized awkwardly as he rubbed his head. Although Yu Xiaoxiu couldn't see it, she could feel that Zhang Xiaoshan must be staring at her, becoming even more anxious and hurriedly saying, You didn't mean it, so don't mention it. Our lives are a bit inconvenient now, just wait until Xiaoru gets married. You also wash yourself, I'll give you something to eat below. Yu Xiuxiu blushed with a hint of shyness and whispered. Upon hearing his sister-in-law mention Wu Xiaoru, Zhang Xiaoshan felt both angry and sad. He looked up to tell his sister-in-law the truth. Sister-in-law, don't rush to cook yet. I have something to tell you. He stared into Yu Xiuxiu's eyes. Yu Xiuxiu's eyes are very beautiful, but unfortunately they are very dull and lack any luster. At this moment, a paragraph suddenly appeared in front of Zhang Xiaoshan. Disease name. Blindness, symptoms. Blindness in both eyes, loss of vision, often accompanied by a burning sensation. Cause. Previously, due to accidental cerebral hemorrhage, blood clots formed in the brain that compressed the visual nerve. Treatment method. First, use 36 needles of Shenlong Zhaohua to break open blood clots, then use Shenlong Tuina to stimulate the visual nerve, temporarily restore vision, and then use herbs such as centennial ginseng, lingzhi, Polygonum multiflorum, qianmingzi, etc. to form Shenqing powder, which can self-heal. Is this? Zhang Xiaoshan was somewhat surprised. The line of sight shifted a bit, and these pieces of information disappeared. Once the line of sight fell on Xiuxiu's eyes again, the information immediately reappeared. My eyes can still see the patient's symptoms at a glance and analyze the treatment method. Zhang Xiaoshan was stunned. Although it is unclear what the bead Susu gave herself in the end was, what can be certain is that the bead is incredibly mysterious and magical. At this moment, Zhang Xiaoshan's mood was very excited. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. Xiaoshan, don't you have something to tell me? Why aren't you talking? Yu Xiuxiu didn't hear Zhang Xiaoshan continue to speak for a long time and asked anxiously. Zhang Xiaoshan, who had come to his senses, changed his tone and excitedly spoke to Yu Xiuxiu. Sister-in-law, I have found a way to cure your eyes. What? Yu Xiuxiu's body trembled and her expression was extremely surprised, but in just an instant, her face darkened. I am aware of my illness and cannot see it well. It may still be possible to go to a large hospital abroad, but medical expenses are astronomical. Forget it, you are also getting married soon, and we need to prepare a dowry for them. My sister-in-law has adapted to this now. Although she said so, there was still an indescribable sadness in Yu Xiuxiu's eyes. Zhang Xiaoshan continued. Sister-in-law, you don't need to go abroad or spend a penny, I can cure your illness. Yu Xiuxiu shook her head and sighed, saying. Xiaoshan, you have feelings for my sister-in-law. My sister-in-law knows, but many of the attending doctors in big hospitals are unable to handle my eye problems. You only studied medicine for 2 years and don't have professional equipment. Forget it. No, sister-in-law, I'm serious. I've found a traditional Chinese medicine therapy that can really cure your eyes. Believe me, I'm begging you. Can you let me give it a try? So. From the bottom of her heart, Yu Xiuxiu certainly wants to one day see this world again. Traditional Chinese medicine. Then give it a try. Upon hearing his sister-in-law agree, Zhang Xiaoshan immediately brought a small stool for Yu Xiuxiu, then took out Yu Xiuxiu's sewing box and began to treat her. Embroidery needles pierced Xiuxiu's scalp one by one, causing her painful eyebrows to furrow tightly. Although it was the first time using the 36 needles of the divine dragon creation, the inheritance of the dragon woman is very magical. In my mind, there is a small human model that has been demonstrating to Zhang Xiaoshan. It is easy to understand, and Zhang Xiaoshan can follow the other person to do it. In just a few minutes, the 30.6 needles of divine dragon creation had ended, and Yu Xiuxiu's face turned extremely red. Xiaoshan, there shouldn't be any problem, right? I feel like my head is burning, especially my eyes, as if they have been burned by fire. Yu Xiuxiu's words excited Zhang Xiaoshan. My sister-in-law's eyes have never felt anything, and if she can feel the scorching heat in front of her, it is already progress. Sister-in-law, please hold back. As long as I remove the blood clot from your head, you can see it. He kneaded Yu Xiuxiu's temples, forehead, and heavenly cover with Zhang Xiaoshan's movements. Yu Xiuxiu felt her head start buzzing, as if something was jumping. Some sticky liquid slowly flowed out of Yu Xiuxiu's eyes, which were pus and blood. Ah, my eyes are hurting so much, ah. Suddenly, Yu Xiuxiu pushed Zhang Xiaoshan away and crouched on the ground, covering her eyes, shouting in pain. My eyes, they hurt so much. Xiaoshan, I feel my eyes are so swollen, as if they are about to burst open, so painful. Yu Xiuxiu crouched on the ground, covering her own eyes, screaming in agony, while some thick blood flowed out through her fingers. Me, did I miss? Zhang Xiaoshan was at a loss for a moment. After all, this was his first time using the medical skills from the Dragon Maiden inheritance, and he couldn't bear it himself. Sister-in-law, don't worry, I'll call an ambulance immediately to take you to the hospital. Wait a moment. Suddenly, Yu Xiuxiu's jade hand grabbed Zhang Xiaoshan's wrist. Sister-in-law, you. Zhang Xiaoshan was stunned. How could sister-in-law grasp her wrist so accurately? Xiaoshan, I seem to see light. Yu Xiuxiu stopped screaming and her tone became gentle, with a hint of surprise in her expression. She rubbed her eyes vigorously, slowly adapting, and looked up at the sky. The sun was rising in the east, white clouds were drifting, and the distant green mountains were picturesque. Her pitch-black and lonely world has now become colorful. Although there are still some ghosting and blurring, I can still see them. Tears couldn't help but leave from the corner of her eyes, her graceful and delicate body trembling. She looked at Zhang Xiaoshan, covered her mouth, and said excitedly. Xiaoshan, I see you, I see it. Zhang Xiaoshan stared into Yu Xiuxiu's eyes, his originally dark gaze shining brightly like a brilliant star, so beautiful. Great, I did it, I finally did it. Zhang Xiaoshan also shed tears of excitement. His greatest wish was to have his sister-in-law, Yu Xiuxiu, who had been taking care of him so hard, see the light again. He thought there was no hope in his life, but today, he has achieved it. Xiaoshan, thank you. My sister-in-law is so grateful to you. I dare not even dream about it. I really have a day to see the light again. Yu Xiuxiu hugged Zhang Xiaoshan's neck and burst into tears. Although the two relied on each other, there had never been such an overly intimate gesture before. Zhang Xiaoshan's body was tense for a moment and he dared not move. While the two were warming up, the courtyard door of Zhang Xiaoshan's house was kicked with a loud bang. Zhang Xiaoshan, get out of here with your special code. End of this chapter. Chapter 10. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. This is the voice of Wu Yong, the younger brother of Wu Xiaoru. How did you provoke him? Although blind, Yu Xiuxiu memorized the voices of everyone in the village. I could tell that Wu Yong's tone was filled with anger, which made Yu Xiuxiu couldn't help but worry about Zhang Xiaoshan. Last night, I met this kid who was a troublemaker, so I beat him up. I guess he's coming to seek revenge now. Sister-in-law, don't worry about it. I need to let him know today that he's really good. He actually bullied his family directly, which is too much. Zhang Xiaoshan was very angry. Sister-in-law Yu Xiuxiu, however, anxiously grabbed Zhang Xiaoshan and said seriously. Did you hit Wu Yong? Sigh, Wu Xiaoru's family has a great fondness for Wu Yong. If you hit Wu Yong, it will affect your marriage with Xiaoru. Don't go out, I'll take care of it. Sister-in-law, Zhang Xiaoshan wanted to tell Yu Xiuxiu the truth, but after encountering Yu Xiuxiu's unquestionable gaze, he nodded honestly. Okay, sister.in.law, I'll listen to you. That's pretty good. Yu Xiuxiu turned around and left the yard. Outside the yard, Wu Xiaoru and her family were all present. After seeing Wu Xiaoru's mother Zhang Yulian, Yu Xiuxiu quickly greeted with a smile on her face. Auntie-in-law, if there's anything you need to do, just let me know and Xiaoshan go over. How could you be so embarrassed to let you, an elder, make a trip? Pooh, don't get too close. Xiaoru hasn't married into your Zhang family yet. Today, I'm here to ask for an explanation. Zhang Xiaoshan, this scoundrel, has beaten my precious son so badly that he will become disabled. Today, I must give an explanation, otherwise this marriage will have to be yellow. Zhang Yulian's face turned cold and her tone was very domineering. Upon hearing this, Yu Xiuxiu's gaze swept over Wu Yong standing next to Zhang Yulian. Wu Yong has all his arms and legs, which is just a slight injury. Where is it as serious as Zhang Yulian said? The Wu family is obviously using the topic as a pretext to come and find trouble. Looking at Yu Xiuxiu, who was as beautiful as a fairy, Wu Yong's face immediately turned lewd, with profanity in his eyes. Hee, beautiful woman, this face is really beautiful. As he spoke, Wu Yong directly reached out his salty pig hand and touched Yu Xiuxiu's face. Get off your dirty hands. Yu Xiuxiu opened Wu Yong's hand. Can you see it? Wu Yong felt the anger and disgust in Yu Xiuxiu's eyes and was very surprised. The villagers who were watching also showed a puzzled expression. What's going on? Isn't she blind? How could she suddenly see it? After her eyes recovered, Yu Xiuxiu's overall energy and spirit had already reached a higher level, and she shouted directly at Wu Yong. Xiaoshan has cured my eyes, you'd better show some respect. What are you doing? What do you mean? Before Wu Yong could speak, Zhang Yulian took the lead in protecting her bastard son and shouted at Yu Xiuxiu. Don't think that with good eyesight, you can shine in front of us. Don't forget that Zhang Xiaoshan is still begging to marry my little mistress. Your attitude is so bad, do you still want to do this marriage? Yu Xiuxiu was very angry. Although Wu Yong was a bastard and rude, she wanted to be lectured, but for the sake of Zhang Xiaoshan's marriage, Yu Xiuxiu chose to endure it. She put down her posture and said humbly to Zhang Yulian with a forced smile. Auntie-in-law, I didn't mean that. So what do you mean? I don't want to talk nonsense to you. Let Zhang Xiaoshan get out of here. He had the guts to hit me last night. Why did he act like a shrunken turtle today? Wu Yong said in a grimace. As his words fell, several young people walked out of the crowd and stood behind Wu Yong. In terms of seniority, these were all Wu Yong's brothers of the same clan. Obviously, they were here today to stand up for Wu Yong. Yu Xiuxiu saw that the situation was not right and was afraid that Zhang Xiaoshan would be harmed, so she immediately lowered her posture. Big brother, there's something to say. There must be some misunderstanding here. Alright, I still have 3,000 yuan here, so I'll compensate you as medical expenses. Yu Xiuxiu took out a pile of money from her arms and handed it to Wu Yong. Many of them are small change, which is not easy to accumulate at first glance. For a blind woman, 3,000 yuan is not a small amount. Hee, your hands are so white, let me touch them. Seeing that Yu Xiuxiu had already surrendered, Wu Yong suddenly intensified his strength and grabbed Yu Xiuxiu's jade hand, with a wild smile on his face. Ah, let go of me, Yu Xiuxiu shouted in panic. Bastard, let go of my sister.in. Law. Zhang Xiaoshan rushed out of the door in an uncontrollable anger, asking for his own trouble, but if he showed disrespect to his sister.in.law, he would rather risk his life. Bang, he kicked Wu Yong hard in the stomach, kicking him back several steps. Wu Yong squatted on the ground, falling heavily. Oh my, you really have a deep affection between your uncle and sister.in.law. Zhang Xiaoshan, shouldn't you have already slept with your sister.in.law? When you first saved this woman, you also had a share. Hee, my brother is dead, and it's quite cost-effective for him to enjoy it. Wu Yong said obscenely. Ha ha ha, the few lackeys who followed Wu Yong laughed heartily. This is a blatant insult, unforgivable. You're shameless. Yu Xiuxiu was both shy and angry, with a red face and ears. Wu Yong, you're so desperate. Zhang Xiaoshan was about to make Wu Yong work hard, but Yu Xiuxiu tightly hugged Zhang Xiaoshan's arm. Xiaoshan, listen to your sister-in-law and don't do anything foolish. Besides, with so many of them, if you take action, you will suffer losses. Sister-in-law, I can't just watch these bastards insult you while I don't do anything, Zhang Xiaoshan said angrily. Yu Xiuxiu pleaded and said. Your kindness to my sister-in-law is known to me, but I cannot let you take risks for me. Zhang Xiaoshan looked at Yu Xiuxiu with tears on her face and didn't know what to do for a moment. Auntie-in-law, let's be frank. What are you going to do about this? Yu Xiuxiu struggled to control her emotions, constantly smiling. Zhang Yulian crossed her waist with one hand and extended 2 fingers towards Yu Xiuxiu with the other hand, greedily saying. Add another 200,000 to the dowry. What? Upon hearing Zhang Yulian's words, Yu Xiuxiu was shocked. 200,000, that's too much, isn't it? We've already agreed on the 88,000 dowry, why did we suddenly add another 200,000? Humph, then my dear son can't get beaten up by Zhang Xiaoshan for nothing. This is a matter of your family's attitude. In short, if you don't agree to an additional 200,000 yuan dowry, this marriage won't be possible. Zhang Yulian was confident and arrogant. Yu Xiuxiu was about to burst into tears. Wu Yong's face showed a hint of grimace. Zhang Xiaoshan, this fool, ruined my good deed and even beat me up. Look at how badly I've been injured. No one has ever dared to oppose me in Bailong village before. It's not worth 200,000 yuan, but anyway, these extra dowries are also for me to marry my wife. As long as you play with me well for a few days and get some sleep, I can consider talking to my mother about love and not getting too many dowries. You're shameless. Yu Xiuxiu instinctively wanted to slap Wu Yong. Those stinky women who dare to fight me and don't know how to stand up, I'll beat you to death. Wu Yong wanted to take action against Xiuxiu. I'll sleep with your mother. At this moment, Zhang Xiaoshan, standing behind Xiuxiu, suddenly went berserk. A figure as swift as a wild beast flashed past the field. Bang! A fist as big as a sandbag hit Wu Yong fiercely on the bridge of his nose, with a click, causing the bridge to break and blood to surge wildly. Before the villagers who were watching could react, Zhang Xiaoshan pulled at Wu Yong's hair and kicked him far away with an elbow strike. Zhang Xiaoshan, you dare to hit me with special code. Wu Yong only felt that the sky and earth were spinning. The villagers who were watching were also amazed. Zhang Xiaoshan has eaten leopard bile, how dare he fight with Wu Yong? The Wu family is a big family in Bailong village. Besides, Zhang Xiaoshan still wants to marry Wu Xiaoru. If he beats Wu Yong, can this marriage still be successful? Zhang Xiaoshan, do you know the consequences of provoking me? What will happen next? Zhang Xiaoshan walked up to Wu Yong, grabbed his back neck, and then bumped his head into a large locust tree on the side. Bang! With a crisp sound, blood flowed down Wu Yong's forehead. Ah, it hurts me so much, Wu Yong screamed in pain, but Zhang Xiaoshan didn't show any intention of stopping. Zhang Xiaoshan, you're done. Finally, the party involved, Wu Xiaoru, who had been silent all along, stood up and put on a look of great injustice, glaring angrily at Zhang Xiaoshan. End of this chapter.